Good evening, everyone, and welcome to yet another Monday night SEQFC review show with thanks, of course, to Look Finance and Village Law. I'm Darren Lutton, admin at SEQFC. I've got two guests with me tonight. We've got the boy genius, Callum Aitken. Callum, how are you?
Good, thanks, Darren. Good to be here again, second week in a row.
Excellent. And we've got him back, the pride of the Western Pride. It's Lliam Parslow. How are you, mate?
Oh, well, thank you very much. Good to see you, boys. Hope you had a good weekend.
Yeah, there's some great games to run through. So actually, the first thing I want to mention is the Look Finance grant. We'll just knock that over and then we'll get into the games. We've got 2 weeks to go with the Look Finance grant. We've had one application so far. This guy's taken a helicopter to games now. It was a limo last week. He's getting upgraded. It's helicopter to games. If you've got anyone out there that needs some sort of financial support to get in the game, we've got the season starting this weekend, a lot of juniors happening. You must need those few extra numbers to fill up your teams. Get in on the grant, put in through an application, state your case, and maybe we can help fill out your team, get that player that desperately needs a game, just needs a little bit of support to keep them in the game and get them on the paddock. So get going. We'll be pushing that over the next 2 weeks. You've got 2 weeks to get it all in before we start assessing. So, right, that's that out of the way. Callum, let's go to the Gorilla Sports scoreboard and let's run through the FFA Cup results, please.
So big score. So the very big scores. So the first result I've got here is one I kind of want to talk about for a second. So Grange Thistle beat North Pine 5-0. A result that was almost characterised by a goalkeeper mistake in the second half, where the young goalkeeper from North Pine, believed to be 17, went to clear the ball to prevent it from going out from a corner. Didn't really need to stop it. Squared it straight back into the middle, and the Grange player tapped it in for an easy goal. So there was actually a lot of discussion around this, particularly because of directives coming from FFA about promoting young players kind of being protected. As a goalkeeper in that position, do you think we should be treating them like any other player made a mistake, or should they be protected from that sort of abuse online?
Look, as someone who used to coach the lad, yes, protect him. But look, he'll learn. That's a mistake. He's actually, got his 5 minutes of fame out of this. The video's gone viral all over across the country on the FFA Cup website. Look, if he's going to make it in the game, he'll recover. And every goalkeeper in this game has got a howler under their belt.
All levels of goalkeepers have all made mistakes, and he's just got to just take it on the chin, I guess, and just go again next week. And hopefully that it all just dies down, which it will. Like all social media stuff, you just smile away for about 10 minutes and then it's all gone again, So
exactly.
So moving on from there, we've got Coomera beating Pine Hills 1-0. Pine Hills got a good 3-0 win against a team from Cap 1 last week, but Coomera has proved to be too much, which will tend to be a theme. Except for this next game, AC Carina beat Kawana 2-1, one of the few results of Brisbane beating a coast side. Willowburn beat Kangaroo Point Rovers 1-0. The Lakes, my boys, beat Musgrave 3-1. Maroochydore Swans beat UQ 6-2. St George Willawong beat Newmarket 2-0. Southport Warriors lost 2-1 to Kingscliff. Virginia United beat Caloundra 2-0. Burleigh Heads beat Western Spirit 3-0. Surfers Paradise Apollo beat New Farm 6-0. Broadbeach United beat North Star 2-1. Toowong beat Runaway Bay 3-0. Redcliffe PCYC beat Brighton Bulldogs 4-0. Robina City beat Budrum Wanderers 4-1. North Brisbane beat Logan Village 2-0. Palm Beach beat Gympie United 7-4 in a very interesting result. Sanford United beat Taringa Rovers 3-1. Slacks Creek and Nerang drew 2-2 all the way through to extra time, where Nerang won on penalties. Oxley United beat Teviot Downs 8-1. The BGs beat Bayside United 2-1 in what could perhaps be a shock result after Bayside beating Albany Creek the week before. Narangba United beat West Wanderers 6-0. Ipswich City beat Nambour Yandina 3-2. Woombye beat the Gap 3-1, and Logan Metro beat Jimboomba 9-1. And that's all the games.
All right, Lliam, what caught your eye there?
But the Burleigh game. Last season, Burleigh played or knocked out Pride in the FFA Cup down there on the Gold Coast, and very, very well coached team. Not quite familiar whether they've got the same coach on board there as last season, but they're a very, very well coached team, very well supported team. So it'd be interesting to watch their rise in the cup this year. I think if they keep their form as they did last season, I think it'd be interesting. What was the Coomera result as well with that? Was there
so Coomera beat Pine Hills 1-0.
Beat Pine Hills 1-0. Okay. Steve McDonald down there as well. He's a fine coach. So he'd be happy with the progress of lads down there, and I think that's where Enrique plays as well. From Raw. So,
I think, and I also believe there was 3 red cards in that game.
Ooh,
2 to Pine, 1 to Coomera. Yeah.
Wow. There you go.
Well, I think what this shows is just how spread out the talent is across Southeast Queensland. And we occasionally we'll bag the administrators when they get it wrong, but we've got to give them credit for getting this right. The spread of all these, the cross-pollination of the competitions with the Sunshine Coast, Toowoomba, Gold Coast, all playing against the Brisbane teams, it's been amazing as shown by these results, and well done to the Coast teams. You've flown the flag exceptionally well.
And I think one thing to look at too is by the sounds of it, just with Callum just going through the scores there, was that there was quite a few close games there. It sounded like there was only like 1 or 2 blowouts there. So the competition's pretty close amongst everyone, So it's an absolute, it's delight the FFA Cup. How teams that don't usually play one another are suddenly playing one another, and it puts some extra spice into the competition. And I think everyone has said how much it is, how great it is to see involved in Australian football,
I think the other benefit from that one is that for QPL in the future, if we want to expand it, it shows the areas that have that talent that could support it, and it really gives a good indication of how clubs are lining up against each other at every time of the year. So once a year we get a good check on everything, and I think that'll be really useful for FQ in the future.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, Callum, let's move on to the NPL. Some big results there.
So the NPL women's next. We've got Logan.
Men. Start with the men first.
Sure. Okay. So we've got Gold Coast United drawing 4-4 with Lions FC. Moreton Bay United beat Brisbane Strikers 4-1 in a bit of an upset. Capalaba Bulldogs beat Sunny Coast Wanderers 4-3. Gold Coast Knights ran over Redlands 9-0. Magpies Crusaders drew 1-1 with Brisbane City. Peninsula Power scraped past Olympic 1-0. And Brisbane Roar Youth emphatically beat Eastern Suburbs 5-0.
Liam, I'll give you first call on that one. What stuck out for you?
That game with Gold Coast United and Lions. Lions were ahead 4-2 at one stage there, and Gold Coast never gave up and basically came back in with that. Now I noticed as well that there was a red card to Sam Smith as well. So Gold Coast have done pretty well, even going down to 10. That they still managed to come back and get a 4-4 draw. So look, I saw a little bit of Gold Coast United in pre-season. They looked sharp then. I think I made a comment to some of the guys I was with at the time. I said, look, these guys look fit, like straight out of the box. Like that was only a pre-season game up at Richlands. They looked fit and ready to go then. So I'm not surprised that they managed to come back the way they did.
Very good. The matches that stuck out for me was the Moreton Bay results. They've done the Strikers again. And a few questions being asked about what's happening at the Strikers this season. So we'll let that go for now and just see how that plays out over the next few weeks. Gold Coast Knights, phenomenal.
Yeah.
Rossi did amazing work with them last season, but the early signs are that they haven't got things going yet. But hopefully they'll get a couple of easy games in the next few weeks, and we'll really see what they're made of then.
Well,
for Mackay to get a point on the board.
Mackay, 1-1. Now, that was another quality game. City went ahead, and there was a missed pen there for Magpies late in the game. It was a double save there by I think Chris Parsons is their keeper now, from Ipswich Knights, went over in the off season, and it was a double save. It was a diving save first, and then obviously with the rebound. So Magpies would be quite upset that they could have gone ahead 2-1 with that one. Actually, probably would have won it. That was one to watch as well, I think.
Yeah, he's a good lad, that Chris Parsons. I caught up with him last year, and he was really knuckled down to make the most of his talents, and he's making every post a winner at the moment. Of course, the final game there was that Brisbane Royal Youth game. That's two really good wins for the Royal Youth. We won't talk about them as title chances yet, but a lot of things happen with the Royal Youth. They focus on development, but its early signs are really good. All right, let's move on to the NPLW. Callum, what's happening on the Gorilla Sports scoreboard?
So Logan Lightning beat South United 4-2. Eastern Suburbs drew 2-2 with Mitchelton. Lions FC drew 5-5 with the Gap. Western Pride forfeited, so got the 3-0 loss to QAS Women in the Raw. Moreton Bay lost 10-0 to Gold Coast United. And Capalaba beat Southwest Queensland 5-0.
Of course, I was at the Lions Gap game on the weekend, the 5-5 draw. That was just a phenomenal game. Some great goals, some great comebacks, and it was the young players from both teams that were the driving forces in that game. But let's talk about that Eastern Suburbs Mitchelton game. What I want you to do, dear viewer, is pause this video, go to the Mitchelton website, and watch the goal, the solo counter-attack goal by Sophie Passion. We'll wait. How about that goal? How good was that goal? Amazing solo effort. It's going to be a contender for goal of the season in all competitions. Really good. Logan Lightning, really good result there over South. Souths are going to need a couple more weeks to get going, but Logan Lightning showing their credentials. And that 2 drop points there by Lions, that gives all the other teams a bit of a sniff that maybe this team isn't so impregnable this season. So I'm sure they'll come good, but nice to see early in the season from a competition point of view. All right, Callum, what's happening in the FQPL?
So last for the QPL, Rochdale Rovers beat Wolves 2-1. Logan Lightning beat Ipswich Knights 2-0 in the derby of sorts. Mitchelton beat Western Pride 4-1. Southside Eagles beat South United 2-0. And Southwest Queensland Thunder beat Holland Park Hawks 2-0.
Liam.
Yes. Hello.
The Western Pride Mitchelton game.
I was at that game. Yes, I was behind goal with all the other Ratbag Pit members. Look, we couldn't repeat the heroics of the week before, where we came back and won 2-1 versus Fire. But look, there was a few silly defensive errors initially in that first half. Seems to be the Western Pride thing recently, where we're slow to get out of the blocks. They 2-1 when they got that second goal there. Mitchelton looked like they were going to start running away with it, but the boys never dropped their heads. They got a goal back through Maddie Haspel's, and again, as you did before with the women's game there, just take a moment to go and watch Maddie Haspel's goal there. It was outside the 18-yard line. It was incredible. It just came off the boot nicely, just went through everybody, and I think the keeper might have got a ex-Pride keeper as well. Would have just got his fingertips to it, but it was a quality goal. But look, again they got a third and a fourth, but the third and the fourth one, they came on the back of the Pride lads just not dropping their heads, just giving it a crack. I think last season, they got us relegated. Of course, we tended to drop our heads when we went down a goal. So the good thing about this team is that Cato's got them drilled pretty well there, and I think they just don't want to roll over. Like, you can see that they're straight up and they're just fighting for it, you know. So losses are hard to take, but when you can see that the boys are just trying everything to try and get those goals back, and they're not dropping their heads and they're giving it a go, it kind of makes it a bit easier, you know. So, but no, well done, Mitchelton. That was their first game of the season, of course, because they had the bye last week. So the bye this week, I think this round was fire. But I'm on top of the buys this week, Darren, unlike a few weeks ago. Look, I think also too, Thunder as well. I think you're going to cover this one soon, Darren. But I think that was their third home game, and they've come out of the blocks pretty good. But I think when I was on last time, I mentioned the Thunder have signed some pretty good players this season. So I don't think it's unexpected that they're doing as well as they are, you know. So, but you wanted to talk about that one a bit more anyway, didn't you? So.
Oh, look, I'm happy to leave it at that. But we just need to make mention of the fact that you know, a fighting loss against Rochdale and then a good win against the Hawks. I just want to take you back to your game, Mitchelton. What do you make of that? You think they've got credentials?
Oh yeah, absolutely. They're very, very tough front third there. Look, Pride have had some issues with getting some good defenders in, so maybe they had something to do with it. I don't know, but no, they look pretty well drilled, solid players, solid lads, and as we know, some of them have come over from Brisbane City. So I'm not surprised that they've got a good squad this year. But they just look physical in that front third. I wish them all the luck. I think Mitchelton will, from what I saw, will be one of the top runners, I think, so far. Yeah.
All right. Well, gentlemen, that's all the results from the weekend. Of course, next week things are going to get crazy around here as the Football Brisbane, Football Sunshine Coast, and Football Gold Coast competitions all get underway. Callum, you are going to be a very busy boy, aren't you?
Not just those two. There's a few more around the country starting, so it'll really kick into gear next week. But I'm prepared for it.
Excellent. All right. So, Callum, tell everyone about your database again, and we'll put the link in underneath as well.
Yep. So once again, I'm doing a spreadsheet of all the NPLs, QPLs, all the second, third divisions across the country, just to compile it all in one place. So all the results are there, and all the ladders and everything are there as well. So that's free for anyone to look at if they are so interested.
Excellent. All right. Well, thank you very much for your participation this evening, Callum. It's all ahead of you now.
Thank you again.
Parslow, where are the Pride at this weekend?
Pride are away to Thunder, up in Toowoomba. So I can't get to that game because unfortunately I'm working night shift. But they travel up the range. The old foes from last season. The old we had a few good games with them last season. Look, I'm a bit wary with that one. I wish Pride boys all the best. Be tough game, I think.
Excellent. All right, gentlemen, thank you very much for your time this evening. And to everyone out there, of course, we'll be back next week with scores from all the competitions, hopefully a couple more guests, and we look forward to your company. Don't forget the Look Finance grant. Village Law are also a part of that as well. So if you've got perhaps a team that needs funding, then you can also apply for that as well. All right, guys, I've got some more Guerrilla Sports season previews coming up over the next couple of days as well. We're just lining up the Capital League 1 in the Football Brisbane competition as we speak. So look out for that one over the next couple of days. All right, gentlemen, enjoy your football. We'll see you next week.